Welcome to Survivor Truck Talk. I'm James, and we're going to discuss some effective methods to reduce or relieve trucking stress. If you have not watched the intro to trucking stress video, I encourage you to go check that one out as we are building on each discussion on how to relieve trucking stress, because you and I both know as truck drivers that every day we are facing stress. We have traffic, we have bad weather, we have dispatch sometimes pressuring us to be on time for a load, and the list can continue. Even personal problems, maybe some relationship problems or financial problems, and you get the point that I'm making here. So in this video, we're going to explain some methods that are going to help you as a truck driver out on the road to stay centered and to contribute to your well-being overall as a truck driver, because we don't want to get frustrated to the point that we are damaging our mental health and even our physical health. So number one of the first methods that we can use to reduce stress is a scientific method called journaling. Very simple, very simplistic, but very powerful, because when we write things down, it just does something to the body and the brain. It just resonates in a way that will help us to remember what we are writing down. We're trying to express our emotions on paper, because there's research out there that men tend to bottle up stress more than women. And this is important because if we are bottling up stress, we are creating a dynamic or a situation where we are going to eventually break down. We are eventually going to start to get sick. We're eventually going to start to get in a bad mood, and it's going to just have a negative effect overall in our surrounding, and we don't want that as truck drivers. So when you journal, it's very easy. A simple journal, just something very, affordable, nothing crazy. You can just even get a small journal like this, nothing fancy, where you can express your emotions, because again, when we write things down, the brain, the mind, it's working together to build awareness. And when we build awareness, we can see, oh, this is what is causing my frustration every day so much. Now I'm more aware of what's happening, and now I can have a solution or a plan. It's not just good enough to say, oh, I'm frustrated because, this happened. In order to relieve that stress, the science says that if you write it down, it's like a valve, a pressure relief valve. It's going to remove that mental clutter. And I have created another video about trucking and the brain and stress in the brain and how that works. And if you have watched that video, you will recall that we were discussing the prefrontal cortex. And the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain, it is responsible for planning and organization. So what does that mean when you are journaling? You are literally removing the excess baggage that you don't need that is causing that frustration. You are expressing yourself, your emotions, and you're writing it down. You're using this part of the brain to organize your thoughts, and immediately, after a few minutes, you will see if you are consistent with journaling, you begin to feel better. We're building a RoadCalm app called RoadCalm, and it's for truck drivers, and it's for the mental health and well-being of truck drivers, and it's going to have a journal feature. Now, I do recommend writing it down first, and then later when the app is completed, we are in the development stage, you will be able to enter a journal entry with the day, time, and location, and of course your personal thoughts, and you will be able to reference it and look it up and see what you had entered at that time when you were feeling frustrated. We'll have some emojis for you that you'll be able to select your mood, and you'll be able to track your mood. All this is scientifically proven to help stress, to reduce stress. And remember, what causes stress is cortisol levels. When your cortisol levels are too high, it causes frustration, again, sickness, and even we can feel it in our whole body sometimes. So journaling is a powerful method. Keep that in mind. What's another method? Another method, believe it or not, very simple, is to express gratitude or thankfulness every single day. Now, my personal routine, I like to express gratitude in the morning before I start my shift or before I start driving. I am thankful for everything that I have, everything that I am, my health, my family, and everything that is being provided where I can survive and just move on as a truck driver. You know, sometimes we get into that trap where we're constantly thinking about what we don't have, and that creates a different mindset. And again, that can cause stress as well. So expressing gratitude is another powerful method. Why? Because we are made up of two parts in our nervous system. I have also discussed this in prior videos where we talk about the nervous system is made up of the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And the sympathetic nervous system is responsible for stress. When we are constantly, reacting in a way that is making us frustrated, we are feeding the sympathetic nervous system that is responsible for fight or flight. So that's why we're either going to react, which is not good, impulse behavior, or we're going to flee or sometimes even freeze. And it goes back to our ancestors and the history where we had to survive, we had to hunt for animals, and reacting in such a way was necessary for survival. So in trucking, we just want to create some awareness around the fight or flight or sympathetic nervous system. What we want to do instead is feed the parasympathetic nervous system, and that is responsible for calmness. And how do we feed that? Well, through meditation, mindfulness, taking a walk, exercising, just again expressing gratitude. All these things can create a positive environment for us as truck drivers. And this is another powerful method that we can use to reduce stress. Again, follow the journey with us. We're building a mental wellness tool exclusively for truck drivers. And it's going to be a very powerful tool that will help you to reduce stress, that would help you to feel centered. It's called Road Calm, and it's in the development stage. If you want to follow that journey, go to my profile and click on the link roadcalm.ai. It'll take you to the website where you can find out a lot more about the app and its development stage. And also, you can provide a good email so that you will be one of the first truckers to know when we actually launch the Road Calm app. So stay safe out there, truckers, and stay Road Calm.